Like, what if someone want to create content and they're kind of struggling, like getting started with that?
I think to get started, take out your phone, film some content, like have no pressure that you are doing it full time. Video goes viral, take the same format, replicate it many times, and I think that is a more comfortable way without pressure.
Okay, so I'm thinking, I have a question here. I wanted, because obviously when you grew up, you raised your son, now he's this handsome man, right? And now suddenly you're working together, doing content together. So what was that? Like the life before content creation and the life after? Did it change your relationship, or like did it stay the same? How was it?
I think it definitely brought us like closer. I think prior to content creation, it was a lot about Taekwondo. So my dad usually does all the analysis of my opponents and so on. So the topic changed from Taekwondo to content creation. So ever since we started creating content, my dad also sees more of like related content. He will send me ideas, and then that's how we create more content.
Nice, mashallah. I've heard from many people when their parents, they want their kids to do something. And then suddenly those kids leave it and do something else. Some parents, they get like disappointed, right? And maybe it becomes like a fight. How was that to see your son leaving Taekwondo and doing TikTok?
Oh, Taekwondo was never his career.
Okay.
It's
You didn't care.
one of the sports during the school days. So we don't have what career he must be in, never. So he chose his own path.
MashaAllah. That's really nice, really nice. So, and then you got involved. How did you feel like when he asked, you asked him, right? Or did you say, I want to be part of it? Like, how did that happen?
So I asked him to appear for like just 2 seconds.
2 seconds?
No. I said no.
You said no?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I said no.
Oh, you said no. And then what did you do?
And then me and my mom is like, only 2 seconds, only 2 seconds. Or like, so he went in and just like 2 seconds.
Okay, so the mom made you do it, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's always like that. Okay. So, and then people started like you more, and like you became a thing together, right?
Yep.
What kind of content do you do?
So we started off creating prank videos because those are much shorter content, and then after that we start to evolve the content to more comedy. But one thing in common is we don't speak in our videos because we are not content creators from the start. We just wanted to create videos.
Right.
So we just started without speaking, adding music, so everyone can understand the video no matter which country they are from.
Right, right. You talked about TikTok, but you got YouTube and Instagram.
Yep.
So how many followers you got on TikTok?
I got 22.8 million and my dad got 8.4, I think.
Yeah, so you're pretty big on TikTok. And YouTube?
YouTube, I got around 11
million.
Yep.
And Daddy?
Yeah, he didn't have a YouTube. We just put all into one.
We need to talk with Mom to get you on YouTube, I think. Okay, so and Instagram you do as well?
Yeah, not so active because Instagram Reels came later in our country, so we didn't really tap on it, but starting to.
Yeah. And I don't know if you mentioned, but you're from Singapore, right?
Yep.
So in Singapore, TikTok is bigger than Instagram, or how is it like?
I think it's pretty similar, but it's just because Singapore population is very little, maybe like 5 or 6 million. So therefore, any new features, be it Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok new features, we are the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
They think about you the last. That's sad. So I'm thinking, what do you guys like to do? You started short form. Obviously on YouTube, you're probably doing long form, right?
Actually, for now, still creating more short form because YouTube Shorts is the fastest to grow right now. And even though the revenue isn't as much as long form, but at least there's some sort of revenue.
Right. And let me see. I actually wanted to ask you guys, like you said, the relationship didn't get damaged. Did it get better when you start working together? Did you get closer or like still the same? Like
I think definitely you will get closer because there's more common topics. Because if you're not doing content, then maybe the common topics is a bit lesser when I'm doing content and he's not. But because we are doing it together, so I think definitely we spend more time together.
MashaAllah. Yeah. Isn't it hard like though? Like now you're doing things professionally, right? It's kind of a job, isn't it? Even though you do it for fun. Do you feel like that sometimes takes over? Like the relationship and you feel like, oh, we need to do a content now. We need to, instead of just enjoying the moment, You know what I mean?
So for this, I think not really for us because I'm not the best at filming. So of course, when we evolve our content, we have videographers and like editors. So with that, we only film during like normal working hours. So when it comes to family time, they are not part of the content. So usually it doesn't get interfered. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. So if someone want to get started with content creation, and let's say they're a family, because we're talking about family now, do you have any like tips or advice for these people to think about?
So definitely family content is one of the more, I would say, wholesome type of content. And I see many people trying to film with their parents. But I think one of the tips is to ask them what they're comfortable with. Because many times I see creators just asking their parents to film something and they're not sure what they do. Sometimes they prank their parents and they don't look so good in front of the camera and they post it online. So I think one of the tips is to be asking them what they're comfortable with. And if they're comfortable, then you go ahead with it. If not, try to find a workaround around it. Yeah.
So are you comfortable? Or did he ask you if you're comfortable? Yeah.
I smashed a kick on him.
Okay, okay, that answered the question. Okay, awesome.
It's a prank, so I always prank him.
Okay, you do.
So
Nice.
okay.
Nice. So that's a really good tip, like to not let do stupid things with your family, right? Would you recommend, like, if someone's starting out and they want to do content creation, now when you know that obviously there's negative sides to everything, what do you say to someone like, I want to start doing this? You say this advice to them, they like, okay, I'm not going to do stupid pranks on my parents. But are there other things you say, like, think about this, like, be careful about this, because you're not showcasing your private life? Is that a reason? Like, is there something you did intentionally to not show your private life and have another side of yourself, or?
I think it ultimately depends on what type of content you want to go for. So if today you want to be a creator where you show about what you do behind the scenes. So I think I see some creators, sometimes they have a baby, they like to show the baby growing up. And for those, then they will have to be involved in part of their life. So filming becomes most of it. But for us, because our content is kind of scripted, like we plan the content rather than what goes on my daily life. So therefore, it's easier to draw a line better.
Yeah.
So I think it ultimately depends on your comfort level, how much you value your privacy versus how comfortable are you in showing what you want to show.
Yeah, no, because I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm doing my own content, same thing like you, script. I always feel uncomfortable when people come with the camera and want to do story, right? I'll do a story, talk to them. I'm like, I don't know what to say, right? Yeah. Even though like you're online, you're doing these things. I'm always thinking about this. You have a kid, they're growing up, like you said, they do content out of that. The kid doesn't get to decide, right? How are you going to ask a little toddler, like, you want to be part, like, what do you think about that? Like, is that a good thing, bad thing? What's your thoughts?
I think it ultimately depends, but I think once the kid is able to make a decision, maybe you can let the kid like decide because maybe the kids enjoy it, maybe they don't. So I think ultimately it's still up to the kid when they grow up.
Yeah, so they have to decide when they're able to decide. Are there any other like tips or advice you would give to someone wanting to start out? Let's say it's flipped. So it's not the kid that wants to start out, it's actually the parent. I've seen that, right? So what do you say, like, and they want to bring in the family on, you see the reverse roles. What would you say, like, is the same rules or there's something else they have to think about?
I saw some people doing that, and I think what they do, or some of them, which was pretty good, was they don't show the faces of the kids. So they still create content with them, but sometimes they don't show the face. Yeah, that's one way.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. So what's the biggest tips you guys have to balance that? If you have a family and you have a business, now you guys doing this, you have working hours and you have private hours. So for some people it might be very hard, like, because family, it happens all the time, like, especially if you have young kids, they're not going to wait for your working hours to be done, right? You're not going to the office, you may be doing recording home. Like, what would your tip be for these people, like, doing this balance?
Yeah, so after creating content for quite some time, I think the most important thing is not everything need to be a content. I think that really stresses you out because I need to do this, I need to do that. So I think because sometimes the video that you made is only less than 1 minute, so you don't need everything that happens in your daily life to be a content. You can just pick up like 3 to 5 things that you think is interesting. You can create those rather than every single thing.
Yeah, I like that. Like, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what if someone want to create content and they're kind of struggling, like getting started with that? What would, like, you just got started because you got bored, right? You sat there in COVID and just like, oh, what am I gonna do? Can't do Taekwondo, right? So, what would you say? Like, how do you get started?
I think to get started, take out your phone, film some content, like have no pressure that you are doing it full time. I think most of the creators or that I see, they don't quit their job overnight and say, I want to do content creation full time. I think they start off not having the stress, creating content on their free will. Like maybe if you can't do it every day, you do once a week, once a month, until you are comfortable with it. One video goes viral, take the same format, replicate it many times. And I think that is a more comfortable way without pressure. Yeah.
You guys feel stressed sometimes?
No.
Daddy, he just looks chill, right? Nah,
I'm the one doing the
It's the
plan.
son.
You just give me the script, I'll just follow.
Yeah, mashallah. Okay, I mean, how do you handle the stress? Like, if you have a lot of stress, starting out might be easy because it's not your main thing. You have a job and everything. What if you quit your job and now you got to do it full time? That's where you get your living from. How you do? Like, isn't it stressful?
I think not really for me too, because actually creating content with my dad is something we do at the side. So even as a content creator, you don't need to post many videos a day. So at the side, I run a social media, a creative and media agency. We help brands to grow on social media. So
Right.
I still have something that I don't need my face to be constantly in, something that I can afford to take a break anytime. And for me and my dad, it's something that we do for fun. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So it's more you kind of like made the balance like that the things you do with that is more fun based, and then you have things that are actually work based, and maybe some of these things go together, right?
Yep.
So would that be a smart thing to do in the beginning, or what would you say?
I would think that because the whole landscape is shifting, I think with Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok, many brands need videos. And the thing is, they can't create those because when they create those assets, it make like advertisement.
Yeah.
So I can see them turning to more content creators, asking them for help. So I think definitely this is an opportunity for content creators who are starting out. Like they need another source of revenue. So they can actually work with brands to create content for them at the same time growing their account until they become more popular, or like until they get more branded deals.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a real job. You get a job and you can get a promotion, you get different tasks, right? It's kind of the same thing, right?
Yep.
But what would you say? Like, I have a interesting question here. Like, obviously it's different for everyone. It kind of happened, you became viral and it became a thing. But what would you say, like, the recipe for success? If someone want to make it big on social media, is there like a recipe?
No, definitely there is
No recipe.
But I think definitely there's one tip is to be consistent. So I think over the years, we also help many creators to grow. I teach like courses. I've seen many creators grow from like 0 to a few million followers. I think one thing that they all have in common is they post consistently. They don't give up like halfway. Like so, if we take a deeper like analytics in like most of the successful creators, when they go viral, they have actually less than 100 videos. So if you were to create like your first 100 videos consistently, it can be maybe once every 3 days. In 1 year, you will have made like 100 videos. So I think many creators don't have this consistency. Like they have 10 videos, they don't do well, I'm out of it. Or like 10 videos, they don't do well, I'm going to change something new again. Yeah.
So what is consistency? Do you have to post every day?
No, I think if at the start you want to post once every 3 days or once every week is fine. But I think to keep continuing the momentum, because the algorithm takes time to understand what you are doing too. Because if you post a content, they don't know what content you are creating because they are like AIs, and then they take time to push out to the right audience. So by creating more similar content, getting people to engage, they take those into data and then they push your content to the right people. Yeah.
Mashallah. It sounds like you're very like analyzing exactly. Okay, you do viral content, you replicate it. Like, is it still fun?
Yeah, definitely. I think you can still find joy.
Was a little, I don't know. But I mean, like, sometimes people are so afraid, like, it's my passion. I love to do it, but I'm afraid that it will get boring as soon as it becomes professional. I haven't thought of that, but I want to hear your thought. Like, do you agree with that, or would you say, yeah, just go for it?
Yeah, I think sometimes when a creator goes viral for one piece of content, you replicate it because it does well, and then soon you get bored of it because it's just the same thing over and over again. Then you try to bring in new content style, and it doesn't work well. So what do? You go back to your old style.
Exactly.
So I think what I try to do is I try to do 70% on content that already does well, and 30% to explore new content that I want to try. So for example, we start off with prank videos, 70% pranks, 30% other type of videos. Whichever do well, that can become the new 70%. So this is what I do to keep the content last and bring my audience from one content to the next content to the next content. Because if today you suddenly stop doing the 70%, you bring in a new content style, it's the same as a new creator trying to come into the platform and getting the audience.
Right, right. Because I'm thinking like passion is something you do even if you're not paid to do it, right? It's something you like to do. You're passionate about it. And I'm thinking if you do it professionally, sure, but there are going to be aspects to keep it professional. You need to, like you said, you need to do a business out of it. You need to make money out of it if you want to do that. But it's a smart thing. Like you can still keep 30%, right, to do your passion thing or like what you'd like to do, and then 70% that do the kind of business thing. So would you recommend that to everyone or just some people?
I think it depends on what they want to do in their content, I think, content style and who they want to see the content. Because for me, I try to reach out to the maximum audience that I could reach out to. But for some creators, they earn a lot through branded deals when they have a niche audience. So maybe just by having 10 or 20,000 niche audience, you have a strong community, you may earn more than someone with 10 million followers without a niche community. So it depends what they want to do. So I see people talking about maybe crypto or like finance. With 10, 20,000 followers, you probably can earn much more than someone creating like comedy content of a 1 million followers. So it really depends what you want to do.
Yeah, because I've noticed that like just because you have followers, because doesn't mean like money starts raining, right? Or does it do in Singapore? Maybe raining money? I don't know.
I wish.
You wish, right? No. So, like you kind of monetize your following. Like if you have a following already, let's say there's someone out here like. So we talked about those people who want to start getting a following. Let's say there are people out here who has a following, and they're not making money. How are they going to do? Like how do they make the money rain?
So for me, I have that issue because we are creating short form content, and I think short form content is definitely much harder to monetize than long form content. So what we do is we try to diversify the income. So I post on different platforms that pays and they don't pay much, but some months this platform does better, some months that platform does better, and it adds up. And on the side, I use the skill set of creating short form video to help brands to do it. So that's one way of diversifying your income. And before this, I was teaching like courses and so on to help creators to grow. So there are still many creators who want to grow from like 0 to a few million followers. So we just help them. So I try to find different ways of.
So you're monetizing in different ways. It's not like just because you have views. I always say this, you get a lot of eyeballs, but you got to lead those eyeballs to something. Otherwise, they're just going to look and then go away, right? So that's kind of the thing you do. So sometimes you lead them to this one. Sometimes you have friends that want to do the same thing. So that's how you kind of monetize it.
Yep. I mean, just figuring out how to do it. And how it started is I didn't think of starting the whole like doing this full time with this in plan. I just went to it and I decide after. So I think one tip is not to have a perfect plan before you start doing it, but just go straight into it and decide what you want to do after, because it's easier to get started when you're already in the game than you're out of the game.
Right. I always say that because I do like fitness stuff, right? Or like lifestyle and health. It's the same thing there. Like if you want to be healthy, be consistent. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just if you go to the gym, even if you feel like you're the smallest guy, just go there. Like the biggest guys, they've been there for 10 years. Same like if you think about it in social media, if you're starting 0 followers, you have someone with 10 million, but they are like years after you, right? Do you feel like sometimes, when you meet other creators, do you feel like how are they? Like, are they the same person in real life, like they're on social media? Or like different?
I think for this,
you don't
it
have to say
depends.
name. We don't have to call anyone out.
No, yeah, but so usually for those that do vlogs content, usually I feel that they are quite similar because they are like showing their daily life, they are part of it. But usually when they do scripted content, it might be a bit different. Like, oh, I thought this guy is a very extrovert, but actually they're very introvert in real life. So it still depends on the content that you do. Yeah.
So what like you doing scripts?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like you're extroverted or introverted?
I think generally I'm quite an introvert.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't speak in my videos. So in fact, I don't speak in my videos at the start because I'm afraid of speaking in front of camera. And somehow it just worked out that people could understand because because there's no language, everyone can understand. So I didn't plan for that at the start. I just went straight into it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a lot of questions. I hope you guys enjoyed. You got some benefits, hopefully. So are there any last words you're thinking of that, you know, we covered a lot, but like general tips for someone who want to start out or already started out, like if you give a little list of do this, that, do that, think of this, do you have any?
Okay, I do have a few. I think first is to be consistent, but everyone knows about this. I think this is the first thing you may hear from many talks, be consistent and consistent.
Right.
I think number two is to also look at what platforms you can post to. Don't waste your content. So sometimes you're so focused on one platform that you can actually take this content and put on other platforms. And some content that do well on one platform may not do as well as another platform, but vice versa. So if I post on TikTok, it doesn't do well. I post on YouTube, maybe I have like much more views. So don't limit your content to one platform. Try to see which platforms you can post to, but also don't post at the same time. So you can post at different timings, you can mix and match so that people will not know which content you have posted before. I see many success in many creators that is doing it. Sometimes you can make a very simple change, changing the music, filming extra scenes at the start or the end. The whole content may just look different.
Right.
So it's like you're already spending 1 to 2 hours making a video. If you take another 10 minutes, you can create some look-alike but slightly different. You can post on different platforms.
Right.
And you can grow different followers from different platforms. So this will allow you to diversify like different revenue, because sometimes I see many creators when one platform start to have a decrease in views, they feel demotivated. But what if you're low on this platform but high on the other platform? Then you will still keep being motivated and creating.
I'm there right now, just to know this. Okay, so consistency and try out things, be creative, and just love what you do.
And just have fun, and just don't think of creating the perfect video before you post. Just create.
Yeah, don't be perfect, guys. Just do mistakes. That's what we want. All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.